What it do, y'all? What it do, y'all? This is Bread Tuck Rob, man. This is the Bread Tuck Legacy podcast. I said this is the Bread Tuck Legacy podcast, the #1 podcast on earth, man. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there, man. The #1 podcast on earth.
Claim it.
Yes, I'm claiming it, man. Featuring the #1 female content creator in the world, Unique B, man. I got my partner, Unique B, man. Ever since I added my partner to this podcast, my stock has went through the roof. Yes, I got my partner, Unique. How you doing?
Man, what's good, C-Rob? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, Unique. I see you got the hair on. We fleeky. We fleeky. Got the earrings.
Oh, you know my earrings always. I got the earrings. I see 10-6 down there laughing. She has no idea that your thing back in the day used to be
yeah. My partner, Unique. Man, Unique, check this out.
What's going on?
You have the Broke B podcast. Because I subscribe, okay? I see that you have a new episode. Just tell us a little bit featuring Lex. Is a young lady named Lex?
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that.
So the episode this week is kind of like a rundown of the things that have kind of happened this week. Also in California, Lex and I used to be co-workers. We're still cool. She moved back home to California. Her cousin was shot in the back 48 times by the police. His body was left in the front yard for over a day. And they won't release dash cam video. They won't tell a reason as to why. So right now it's an active court case, but 48 times in the back, which means the man was walking away. His name is Rudy Molina. You can look it up. She's in LA County in California, and the police have just gone mute. They rather drag out court cases and not produce any evidence, rather than to actually say what happened, which 48 times is excessive. I don't care. You have a gun, you have a man with his back to you, you shot him in the back 48 times. So that's excessive. And then he was shot on his birthday, body laid in the front yard. His daughter's birthday was the next day, and his body laid in their front yard on his daughter's birthday. It's sad. There is a GoFundMe. I'm sorry, I have little people.
It's all good. I get it. That's why I'm in the garage. I get it.
No, he did. Okay, just say hello.
Hello.
Hey, man, what's up, man? That's my partner who be telling stories about his age.
Okay, but I'm busy. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. Sorry. So right now the legal fees are becoming like a lot. So they do have a GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe also gives updates to the case as well. But right now it is ongoing because the officer, like I said, the LA County PD doesn't want to turn over the video, and they're not explaining why they shot him. So that's a little bit. We talk about Coachella and the Herp on a lighter note. Also discuss Lifetime and the aftermath of R. Kelly. But that's basically what this episode is about.
Oh man, check this out. I support you. I'm definitely gonna be tuning in because I'm interested to hear about that young lady and her story with and you say that was her what that got shot?
Her cousin
that got shot 48 times. That's ridiculous. And you have my word that after this show, I'm donating to that GoFundMe because I understand. Well, I can't say I understand because I've never been through that, but I get it.
Right.
And you need all the support that you can
get. Right. Right.
Oh man, God bless that sister. And the Unique B, or excuse me, the Broke B podcast.
Broke Bitch Podcast is
There it
bitch
is.
without an I.
Yes.
BTCHAC. Yeah.
Yes, and that information will be in the information box. So for all the people who listen to my podcast, please check that out, man. She's phenomenal. Unique B is phenomenal on here, so you can imagine what she does on her own platform, y'all.
With some alcohol. Yep. Let's go.
I'm over here drinking some struggle tea. My partner got the alcohol, so she lets it hang out, man. But you know what, Unique? Check this out.
Let's get into it.
I sent you an article, Unique, earlier this week, and this is taking place in Houston, right? At Madison High School. This sister, this principal, she sent a letter out to the parents. She said, "Look here, man, y'all ain't no more coming up here with your bonnets on. Ain't no more coming up here with your leggings. Ain't no more coming up here with your pajamas. Man, when y'all come up here to get y'all kids, man, y'all gonna look presentable."
Right. Right.
Y'all, I don't know how they do it everywhere else, but when you walk up in this Madison campus, y'all gonna look presentable. And you know what? Unique, check this out. I read this article. I said, man, why does this woman feel like she can do this? And then I found out that at a previous school she was at, she changed them scores around.
Right, she did. Texas, I think she was at 3 or 4 different schools, correct? Prior to taking over Madison, right. Right.
But she comes in and she makes a difference. She makes so much of an impact that Ellen DeGeneres reached out to her and shot her $100,000.
Yes.
Because she out here making changes. Now with that story, Unique, and I'm going off of memory, okay? A young lady came in to pick up her child or something at Madison.
To enroll her child.
And she had on, her bonnet or whatever. And I believe they had turned her away, was it?
Correct.
Yeah, they turned her away.
Correct.
And then the woman was like, wait a minute. Where is it in this handbook to say I can't come up here looking struggle? And then after that, that's when the woman, the principal made that memo and sent that out to the parents that y'all not coming up here like that no more. Unique. Right. I gotta hear where you stand on this.
You want to hear get that lady a standing O. Let me explain to you why. The struggle look is not what it is. I don't know when it became what it is. I saw the lady. I'm a firm believer. I'm saying I saw on the news clip. So my thing is this right here. Tights are not pants. I've been a firm component of that. Time after time after time. Tights have been around a long time. I remember back in my day, we would wear tights, but there would be shorts over them. There would be a dress, a tunic, something over them. At what point could you wear a t-shirt? And they're not like opaque tights. These are like tights you can clearly see through. And you're walking around because people get you get tights for like $5-10, and they not
Rainbow.
For Rainbow City Trends. Come on, let's make it happen. And you buy a whole bunch of them because sometimes you can get the 3 for $10 because they on sale. So they are not they're not protecting much. They are literally just for a look. So I get it. I think that if you're not getting out the car, it shouldn't matter. But when you're walking in, and the only reason I say that is because when you sent me this story and I did watch the news clips and I did read, I had to think back when I was in school. And when I saw my aunts, they were, even during the summer, they were always dressed for something. My aunt would walk a track. And I guess it was just the way she did it. Yes, she had rollers in her head, but I promise you that you didn't know what was going on under that cap. It was just a way that you kind of presented yourself. Most women I know have what they call it, be ready dress. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a dress that's decent enough that you're not embarrassed if somebody catches you in it, but it's available for you to go out in, so
Is it
you
one of
don't
them
look.
Medea dresses? One of them dresses Medea be
Oh,
wearing?
jeez. I don't know where Medea got them dresses. Don't,
Oh,
but it's
oh,
along them lines where you're not too embarrassed. You're not embarrassed to be seen out in it. It's just a comfortable dress. It's literally just a comfortable dress. So, I think those things are available. So to go in your kid's school, and I get it. I'm all about, I'm natural. I'm all about keeping the hair together and protecting it. But if you can't afford to take your bonnet off for like literally 5 or 10 minutes until you come back out of the school, you need to question what's going on with your head. Period. It shouldn't be that deep. It really should not be that deep. Now, one thing I do want to ask you about, I saw something on there about shower caps. Who's still rocking the Jerry curl? Why are we going to these places in shower caps? I have curly hair and I do a deep conditioning with a cap, but I'm not running up in the spot with a shower cap on. What?
You know what?
You know,
You know what? Number one, I'm gonna applaud this sister, the principal. But I will say this: when the
absolutely.
woman initially came in, and I'm talking about the lady with the hair wrap or shower cap, when she initially came in, I think it was wrong to turn her away. And there were,
Tell me why.
because there was no memo put out. I'm talking about before. The memo came after, Unique. Now, I will say this. The woman was right to ask, all right, well, wait a minute. Show me in the handbook where it say I can't come up in here like this. Now, I think it was cool for the memo and everything to come out after. Because my thing as a principal is, I was chosen to operate this school, run this school, and I will run it the way I see fit.
Right.
To me, I hate bonnets, period. I hate when women go to sleep in them. I hate to see them out in stores. But I get it. Listen, listen, I don't have no hair. Women got to protect their hair. I get it. I hate them. But
don't be hating on Toya, right? She got a whole blinged out bonnet situation.
For what? For what? For what? It makes absolutely no sense, Unique. But check this out, Unique. Coming up to school in pajamas. That's lazy and it's trifling. Your pajamas are made for you to sleep in and made to walk around your house in. They're not made for you to come out in public like that. All right? And then with your pajamas, some of these pajamas are a little risque, They're a little risque. And then you go into a high school with these young boys that's, these young boys.
You know what?
These young boys, they want to, you know what I'm saying? So to keep everything honest and to keep everything maneuvering the way it needs to maneuver, we got to put this memo out here because obviously you parents can't be trusted to walk out your house looking presentable. Now, if you're having a struggle hair day, hey, what about them Erykah Badu wraps? We can't, What about a little hat? We can't throw a little on the TLC tip hat?
We don't need a TLC. We're not bringing her back.
No, we're bringing them back. Unique. There are other options. That's all I'm saying. There are other options. You mentioned put on your ready to go dress. You throw that dress on and go on about your business and put on your TLC tip hat. Hold on, Unique. My partner Dunn has something. C-Rob, I've been reading a lot of responses that have challenged this principle, saying the parents are taxpayers and focusing on dress for parents should be the last on the list. What do you think about that? Unique, you answer that first. I want you to answer that.
Let me explain to you why it should not be on the list. I know the question was for C-Rob, but I hope you don't mind if I give my opinion on that. The reason it should not be at the end of the list is because your child has a dress code, right?
Absolutely.
And we state that everything starts where? At home. The parents are the example. And due to the fact that the parents are the example, they need to be able to show that on the outside of the home as well as the inside of the home. I don't know how you came up or anything, but I know that sometimes, especially when I was coming up, my aunts, you know, my dad or whatever, they would see certain people and say, and once they meet the parents, they would just say something simple like, I get it. I understand it. And we all know what that means because it starts at home. And due to the fact that it starts at home, I do think that the parents should show another way of saying, hey, you have a dress code, but I, as your parent, when going out in public, I also have a dress code in the way that I not only represent myself, but I'm also representing you. I do know that when it was first posted, someone made the comment about erasure of black culture. Let me explain one thing on that. This is not black culture. When we saw these things back in the day, if you watched movies like CB4 and old school comedy movies like that, the mother was looking like that, and it was for straight embarrassment purposes to go up there and deal with it. It was a joke. It wasn't because you seriously, and that's what it did. It embarrassed the kid. So what has changed? Well, I think that society has gotten more and more relaxed. We've gotten away from actually dressing up and looking presentable, not only in the workplace, but also in church. And there are some things in some places that even if it could just start in the schoolhouse to say, hey, that's just not going to be accepted. Your lingerie needs to be your lingerie behind closed doors. You got women walking into school with see-through pants. I know when my daughter was at Landis, because of where we lived, I would walk her. And you'd see parents, no support, pick them up, ladies. Like, come on. We're going into a school. I want to see all that. And you got on tank tops. You got stuff hanging out. And these are younger kids. And kids are asking, well, why she look like, and what's that? And it may not be questions that you're ready for. And you're talking about, as C-Rob said, them boys, and then, going through whatever. And you're walking in like that. And mothers don't look like mothers anymore. The same way they say that grandmothers don't look like grandmothers anymore. People are manufactured, bought, put together, and packaged in a different way. So now you got kids that are seeing things that it's probably hard enough with people their age, but now you got grown women coming up here. No, there should be a dress code, and it should be appropriate. And due to the fact that your child has a dress code, I don't think it's wrong to ask for the parents to be dressed appropriately when dealing with something for their child.
Absolutely, and I'll add to that. I'll say that it all goes together. Okay, yes, we should focus on education. Education should be the priority,
top of the list.
But the way you present yourself, that also goes along with education too. When you go, I guarantee you, when you go to these white schools, they not allowing that, man. And we have to have some type of standards, man. That's what it all boils down to. We have to have some type of standards that just kind of relates to respect too. Not only am I going to respect you by presenting myself accordingly physically, but to kind of go back to what we kind of talked about last week, I'm going to also respect you the way I'm talking to you. You see, it all goes together.
Agreed.
I heard I read something where somebody said, well, they only going to enforce this with black people. They're not going to do this with white people. Because the white people will put the law on them. No, we doing this with white people too. Okay, everybody gonna get this work, man. Everybody's gonna fall up under this this dress code. Let's just keep everybody honest. Because remember, like Unique said, your parents are looking at you. I mean, your kids are looking at you first. And if I, as a principal, if I allow the parent to come in here and do whatever he or she wants to do, and your child is watching that, what you think your child gonna want to do when he or she gets to my school? He gonna want to do whatever he want to do. She gonna want to do what she want to do, and I got to deal with her for 8 hours. That ain't happening, fam.
Facts.
So that's not happening. So when you walk through these doors, man, you better put your on the TLC tip hat on and put your ready dress on, and we're gonna just move accordingly. Now, after you leave this here, if you want to put your hair shower cap on and put your pajamas on, you do what you want to do.
And that's what I say, it's just a few minutes. Like, I didn't get the big deal about the bonnet. Take the bonnet off. You know, if you had a bonnet on, 9 times out of 10, you're trying to protect something. So, okay, you got your bundles in. Okay, sis, bounce them out for a second. Then go on and wrap it back up and put it back on. It's literally not that deep. I get it, income tax. It was bundle season. So I'm sure you got something on up under there. Come on, like, let's it's not that deep.
Yeah.
Let's not make it a bigger deal.
And before we end this topic, Unique, I heard somebody say, or I read somebody say, you know, what if it's raining outside? And then I kind of had to have a little sympathy for that, because me being a man, if it's raining, I just go out. If my hair gets wet, it's whatever. But I understand that when sister's hair gets wet, man, that could be an end of a $200 hairstyle. So
you know what though? For me, I guess it's a little different because, you know, I'm natural. If it get wet.
Okay.
It just get wet.
Okay, Marsha Ambrosius.
I'm just saying, like, real talk. If it gets wet, it gets wet. Okay. For people who buy your Remy and all that, you know, I get it, but honestly, that bonnet, if it's pouring down like that, that bonnet ain't protecting nothing, because that bonnet gonna get wet and your hair gonna be wet anyway. Period.
Okay. So.
And I still, before we wrap this up, if anybody could message me and explain to me what these shower caps are doing, still to this day, please just inform me, because I'm lost. Go ahead. I don't know who wearing a shower cap.
If you still wearing a shower cap, inbox my partner Unique B and let her know the reasoning behind doing that. But shout out to that sister from Madison who said we ain't doing this here.
Doing no shower caps. I'm with her.
Unique B, check this out.
Go for it.
I sent you another article. But I'm a tell you something that I'm sure you've seen. Did you hear about the 13-year-old girl that that got jumped and got kicked in the head?
Multiple times. It was videoed. Correct.
Oh my God! I read this article, Unique. I read this article about this young 13-year-old girl getting jumped, and in getting jumped, the baby got kicked in the head viciously. Okay. She went home. She was having these headaches. Her mama didn't know what was up. Why you got these headaches? And then they finally took her to the doctor, and the baby had fluid built up in her head. And then she ended up dying. Okay.
Right. It takes its children. Right.
Yes. Oh my God. The first thing I thought about was my daughter. Oh my God, my daughter. I'm raising a young girl. You're raising a young girl and a boy. As a mother, just tell me where you were when you read that. Where were you mentally?
As far as this goes, for people to feel comfortable jumping someone to a point that they are in the hospital. Let me just put this out here. To know that the mom found the video, heartbreaking. Because I wouldn't want us to be to have to see your child going through something that you honestly cannot hit. You're helpless. You're not there. There's nothing you can do. The other thing is this. social media is becoming this, I want to be famous. I want to do it the quickest way possible. And people like fight videos. So it goes back to, what was that girl name? Sharkeisha? I don't
Yeah.
know if you remember Sharkeisha
Yeah, I
from back in
remember
the
that.
Gap or whatever. You know, you have all this, and it is just not cool. It's not safe. It's bringing up a bad environment. People stood around watching. And it brings me back to a few weeks ago, the man who punched the woman, laid her out at spring break in Florida. Nothing about this is okay. Um, Now, I do know that they're trying to say that it could be the tumor or whatever it is, you jumped a 13-year-old girl
And kicked
and
her in the head.
personally, and kicked her in the head multiple times, and it's on camera. You're responsible. Don't try to put it on anything else. But my main question is, where are the parents? Because the reason I say this is this. I'm an 80s baby. And yeah, we ranked on people and we made jokes and there were people who fought. But nobody let a fight get to a point
Mm-hmm.
where you kicking people in the head and nobody's breaking it up. Instead, everybody's just standing around recording. Like, it's just not cool. And sometimes, even if you got into a verbal altercation, like, it's been plenty of times I've had to write apology letters because Hugh Green wasn't playing that shit. You
Mm.
gonna go apologize and you gonna apologize now. You know, what happened to that? Because kids nowadays are too free, and it's taking kids' lives, and it's happening more and more often. You're actually in the school system, so from your perspective, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Unique. I had to. It's. I'm not gonna use the word funny because this situation is, it's too serious. But it's odd because 2 days before I read this article, these two young girls at the school that I know, who
Hmm.
were claiming to be best friends or whatever, they got into a fight, and it was recorded, and of course one girl got the best of the other girl. But the
Hmm.
girl that was on the ground getting beat up, she was defenseless. You could tell she didn't. This fighting isn't what she does.
That
And
do
people were
right,
just
right,
standing
right.
around recording it. The girl's holding her face. The girl paused and then picked her up and drug her. And I'm like, my God, I had to go to both of these babies separately. And I had to go to the one that got the best of her. I said, now, hey, why did you do that? Clearly
Mm.
you saw that baby had nothing for you, but you continued to put your hands on her, and let alone you did this in front of groups of people, and now this stuff is on social media. Okay, not only you've embarrassed that girl physically and mentally. And then you know
Mentally,
what the girl
right.
told me? She said it could have been worse. And then when you say it could have been worse, now I'm thinking about this situation where you're kicking the baby in the head. Check this out, Unique. When we were coming up, cats used to fight, but it was an unwritten rule. If you drop them, you
That's
you
it.
get up
You
out of
won.
there. That's it. But now these kids are so um,
Vicious.
they're so vicious, and their entertainment is watching people get shot, watching people die, watching people. These kids don't have souls anymore. Unique. I can't watch stuff like that. I haven't watched the video with the girl. I can't watch stuff like that. When people get shot, I can't watch stuff like that because I have a soul, and I do not want to be desensitized to where this stuff is normal to me. And now your babies are out here, and as a parent, you don't feel safe. So one of the solutions, go ahead.
I was just gonna say what it does is it brings it in because if my child is not raised for that, prime example, I think last week we discussed Remy Ma, and I gave you the information that this is over her daughter,
Mm-hmm.
right? You
Mm-hmm.
you jumped my daughter, so
Mm-hmm.
now I, as a parent, have to become involved. And me, I'm defensive about me, and I'm really defensive about my kids,
Oh, yes.
and so I hate to be in a point where I'm behind bars because I, whew,
I get it, sister. I
I
get it,
done took
sister.
out, and you would get me when I say this because I done took out some little kids over a banquet table. You get what I'm
Hey,
saying? I done
hey,
had to, had to lay them out. I would hate to be at that point at this stage in my life. But like you said, back in the day, we would fight, and once that other person hit the ground, you live to fight another day. The
mm-hmm.
problem is these kids are not letting each other live,
Mm,
and people say, "Oh, what happened to children being our future?" Children are killing each other. They're killing our future.
mm-hmm.
Period.
Absolutely. And like you said, as parents, we have to take responsibility. Now, see, everything
Absolutely.
ties in together. A lot of times, the parents that these kids are the kids that are extra vicious. The parents are
Hmm.
coming to school in pajamas and shower cap. It's no structure. When you have no structure, things run amok. You're
And you
able to run
have to
amok.
say you're that parent that says, "Hey, stay away from
Yeah,
that kid." See their
absolutely.
parents? Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Absolutely. So
mm-mm.
after looking at all of this, my thing for my
Mm-hmm.
daughter, I'm going to make sure that my daughter knows how to defend herself and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that I want her, I look at it like this. When people see Mike Tyson, and this is an
Mm-hmm.
extreme example because he was a professional boxer. But anyway, when people saw Mike
Mm-hmm.
Tyson, they were like, you know what? I'm not gonna mess with him because this might not go the way I want it to go. I have to make sure that my daughter's in that situation. Not to say that she's gonna be up here bullying people, beating people up, but
Suge
man,
Knight got it.
Suge Knight, Jay Prince, Jay Prince, and it's a shame you can't even just let your kids just live and go play outside and all that. No, baby, I
Right.
have to take this time. You're gonna take karate. You're gonna take MMA. You go whatever
Yeah,
you
they
need
gotta
to
have
take.
these hands.
Oh
You
yeah,
gotta have these hands. You gotta. It used to be you could send your kid to school and people knew they look at them all day week. They ain't gonna do nothing, and
oh
people
yeah,
would leave them alone. You might get into a war of words, but it wouldn't get physical because you were the bully. If you were beating on someone that you knew was not on your level, and nobody wanted to
absolutely,
be that bully. You don't want to be that bully.
absolutely,
Nowadays, it's like it's okay to be the bully. And the problem is there's so many of them, and everybody's fighting for dominance and rank. How do you got more and more parents that are working? You have more and more parents that are home less and less because they're trying to handle things, they're trying to pay for things, they're trying to take care of the household. And how do these teachers keep up with all of them?
absolutely, absolutely. It's just unique. I don't know. It's a lot. As parents, we just have to figure it out. I think I heard you say that last week. You just gotta figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh man, just a tough situation. Um, Man, God bless that baby's family, man. Because, like you said, as a
It's gotta
mother, as a
hurt.
parent, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's video that's gonna live forever. No,
Yes.
no, and somebody got to pay. That's why at the schoolhouse, when I see especially girls fight, I try to de-escalate it or try to get in there. And now I try not to touch girls. I don't, even when they fight, and I don't want to be the one to break them up. But I at least try,
Right.
because this man touched me. I'm not with all that. But I mean, I got to protect myself too,
I
unique.
know. I get
I got
it.
to
I
protect
get
me.
it. I get it. I get
But
it.
I just try I don't want people fighting because I know that a lot of these kids don't have no soul. And when cameras are on you,
For the
you give a
camera.
lot more of a performance than you would if there was no camera
Mm-hmm.
around. But
Absolutely.
check this out, man. Woo-hoo. Another phenomenal episode of the Bread Tuck Legacy Podcast. Got my partner Unique B from the Broke B Podcast. Her information is gonna be in the information box. And please go to her page, check out the story that she has with the young lady Lex. I'm definitely gonna check that story out, and I'm definitely gonna donate to that cause because I get it. And Unique, what you gotta say before we get up out of here?
I once again thank you for having me, and also as parents, we have to do better. we have to do better. We have to be more engaging. We have to actually be active. And there are some old school rules that we have to start implementing, re-implementing, because we're losing more and more young kids. And I also want not just him, but the young gay boy that killed himself and committed suicide. That was sad, mainly because I feel like he felt alone. And he was bullied to a point where he felt like taking his life would be better than living. And none of our youth, no matter sexuality, no matter what's going on, no matter if, you know, they have less than the other kid, none of our youth should ever feel like the only way out is killing yourself. And we also shouldn't feel like handling a discrepancy, the only way out is to kick somebody in the head either. So we have to make changes, and not just make changes as parents, but instill it in our children, and then have those children work with other children and figure out what's really going on, because it's becoming very, very sad, and there are a lot of issues that should be avoided. Not to be too deep, sorry y'all, but I mean, I just think we have to do better as a people, period.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But there you have it, man. My partner, Unique B. I'm Brad Tuck Rob, man. Go grab my book, Defeating the Struggle Journal, Entries of a Conqueror, Defeating the Struggle Journal, Entries of a Conqueror. And, man, y'all just do better out here in life, man. That's all I got, man. I don't know what else to tell you, man. That's all I got. But we up out of here, man. Y'all just gonna take it easy. All right.